Private security might just be the answer for the nation. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about a gas station in North Philadelphia who have taken matters into their own hands as it relates to security. They have hired private security that are fully armed. I'm talking about big weapons, shotguns, rifles, all of that exposed and out in front of the gas station. Now, some are going to say, this is overkill, it's a little bit too much, all this and that and the third, but at a certain point, it's like, well, what do I do? What am I to do when I'm constantly under threat, when there's drug deals happening and vandals and everything else? Remember the whole Wawa situation? I did a video about that. When I put up a short and got a bunch of views, that was right there in Philadelphia. And the Wawa got damaged so badly, they went ahead and closed the location, although it was very busy. So that problem with the vandals and the loot and the carrying on does not just exist in one particular Wawa. It exists all over the city. Now, before I go too far into it, let's roll the clip. If you want to see this clip in full without my commentary, the link, as always, will be in the description box. But let's go ahead and roll it.
Heavily armed security guards now stand at this Carco gas station in North Philadelphia along Broad Street near Allegheny.
What do you got there? This is an AR-15 shotgun.
Armed with long rifles and tactical gear, the owner of the gas station hired a security after mounting problems in and around the store.
Lately, we are completely tired from this all nuisance. Stealing, robbery, ATM missing.
Neil Patel is the gas station manager who showed us what vandals even did to his own car.
3 weeks ago, they cut my tire. I fixed that. Then they broke my bumper. I fixed that. And I fixed that. Next day, did this.
Vandals breaking his windshield. In the store, bags of food thrown on the floor. He says people selling drugs on the property are a constant threat. And many times, calls to police go unanswered.
Middle of the night, and nobody feels safe. And we are completely losing a lot of customers.
It's out of control. What we have now going on in the city of Philadelphia is chaos. The criminals have the keys to the city.
Andre Boyer heads PA Site Agency Security. He says since they started security detail here 3 weeks ago, customers have expressed their gratitude, and the manager says problems have gone away.
People want change. People deserve it. And I'm telling you, the people are very grateful to the owner for doing this.
I really feel like that's the very best thing they could ever do.
You feel safer here with
Now, I'm going to pause right here because the people in the community will have one thing to say. That's one thing I know about politics. The people will have one thing to say, but then the politicals and the normies and the woke folks will say a different thing. I'll talk more about that in a moment.
An armed security guard at the gas station?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You can't pump gas. You can't run in the store to get a bag of chips. Your mom can't get off the bus stop and just go home at night without something happening.
To be honest, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing, but I'd rather us be safe than sorry.
One business now taking drastic measures to keep their customers safe in Philadelphia. Johnny Archer, NBC 10 News.
I mean, that's what you got to do. Just for a gas station, you got to have private security, fully armed, out there, openly displaying weapons. And I need that AR shotgun, by the way. I don't know if I can get that legally. I need that AR shotgun, sir. Can we get a link to the gun store you got that from legally? But anyway, I digress. So yeah, shout out to the Indian or whatever Pakistani Bangladeshi store owner. Shout out to the guys that are out there protecting the store and also protecting the neighborhood, because when you have stores, they often invite the wrong kind of people. So you're going to have people that congregate selling drugs, selling whatever else they got, stolen merchandise, human trafficking going on. Then that's going to invite the fights and the chaos and the lawlessness and the dope fiends that go in the store acting a fool, threatening customers, trying to panhandle and beg, all kind of stuff. It just creates an overall environment of danger, of no sense of safety. So these guys that are out there are doing a good service for the community. Now, like I said, some are not going to like this too much. The one guy was like, well, it's good and bad, but he really just saying it was a good thing. I think maybe the bad, just speaking for him, if I could just guess what he's talking about as far as the bad, is maybe you should not have to have these armed guards out there. Maybe some people might feel intimidated, but it's good because it's going to keep the crime down, if not totally away. Because if you're a criminal, a lot of times you want easy targets. If you want to sell your drugs, you don't want to sell drugs right next to this armed security with an AR shotgun. That's not really where you want to go. You'll go somewhere else with it. Leave the particular gas station, and if the whole city has that, you leave the city, you leave the state, whatever you got to do. You'll go elsewhere to sell your wares. Maybe you just won't be a criminal. Maybe you just get a job doing something like what they're doing and not be a criminal anymore. But different story, I'll move on. The whole point is that what they're doing right there makes a lot of sense. Now, some are not going to like it because they say that they shouldn't be out there armed and intimidating people. But who are they intimidating? The people that live out there probably are intimidated because they see the guns in the hands of criminals all the time. They see these young boys, 16 years old, shooting and killing each other. Their grandma get caught up in the crossfire. Their kids get caught up in the crossfire. So I don't think they're intimidated of the security force, law-abiding citizens with the guns. I don't think that's what they're afraid of. They're more afraid of the criminals with the guns that are endangering them every single day. They're endangering they're like the one guy was saying, the mom can get off the bus and go do certain things. You fear for your life on an everyday basis just by going and doing very mundane tasks. Going to the grocery store, going to the laundromat, going to your house, walking that night by yourself, or even with a group of people, it can be dangerous because you could be walking with 2 or 3 people, 4 people, 5 people. But then if you got 10 guys that run up on you with a bunch of guns, it's like what happens then? Or if one guy has a gun, a long rifle or whatever, who has malicious intent, you're going to be in a vulnerable situation. So yeah, shout out to these guys for being out there. Shout out to the store owner for doing it. I wish it had to be this way, but when you have the whole defund the police movement going on all over the country, not just in Philly, but New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, wherever it is, there's going to be something that has to happen. There's going to be some results. There's going to be consequences of the whole defund the police thing. If the police are defunded by 25% or 25, 30, 40, 50% of the police force are no longer there, whether it be from early retirement, forced retirement, they're not getting the kind of pay increases they want. It's a lack of morale on the force. Whatever the reason is, if your police force shrinks, you're not going to have enough guys and girls to be able to patrol, to be able to respond, to be able to help police an environment. And when that happens, you're going to have crime naturally go up. And it's going to be right there in those inner city communities, North Philly, whatever, West Philly, South Philly. You're going to have that happen. So you're going to have crime go up. So it's like, okay, now what do I do? The police can't really help. I'm calling them. They can't really help. They can't come through. And even if they can come through, they're going to come through after the fact. So why don't I do this? Since the police can't come to my aid, even after the whole thing happens, they might not come at all to even do a police report. How about I just hire private security? I'm spending money on getting my car fixed, getting my store repaired when they break it up, restocking the food when they throw it on the ground. I'm spending money that way, and I'm losing customers. And I got to have customers. I got to have product. I got to have stuff that is functional and not broken and destroyed all the time. I'm spending more money on that. My insurance is tripping. They're not trying to cover me anymore. But now I've hired private security. The cost of the security is less than what I was losing as far as not having customers and property damage. So it's a win-win. I'm able to spend less money. Customers feel more safe and secure, not only in that store, but in the surrounding area, in the neighborhood. It's houses and stuff. People live not too far right across from them. So people have their regular houses where they park every night, where they sleep every night. So if you're parked right in front or nearby a gas station and you live there, you don't want to have the store get shot up, selling drugs, the criminal element. You don't want to have that next to where you live. So the private security does make sense. Now, it's unfortunate that the average normie can't really afford that for themselves that lives in the community. But if you have businesses that are able to invest into an area that way, that not only benefits them, that benefits those that are surrounding it, I say that's definitely a win. But ultimately, as I close, I hope that the police get refunded in a place like Philly, in a place like Chicago, New York, LA, whatever, so you won't have to have so much private security out there patrolling areas. I mean, you get into the point of a third world country, that's kind of how they operate too. When, okay, you happen to be somebody that comes from a different place and you want to go through a really poor area, they're going to have the armed guards right there in front of you. Okay, bulletproof vests, visible weapon, long rifle, long shotgun, a lot of ammunition, they're going to be like that. Okay. And they'll be like that at random places, grocery stores. They'll be like that because they understand that their nation's security is not really that good. So they got to have immediate private security to prevent any kind of random, crazy act of violence. That's how it has to be. It's unfortunate, but you got to respond to the environment. And what the environment right now is telling us in Philadelphia is that it's not safe. Protect yourself. And if you can, get some highly trained private security because the police can't really do much for you. But I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? How do you feel about what's going on here with private security in Philadelphia at a gas station? Is this the way of the future? Is it going to be like this from now on in the USA, especially in places where they've defunded the police? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys should pretty much know where I'm at. I think it's only natural. It's the natural progression of things. The security is not really there. It's kind of lacking. So what do you do as a result? There's got to be something's got to give. Something's got to give. Either you just accept the increase in crime, you accept the lawlessness, the danger that has infected a certain area, or you do something to fight against it. Private security, private citizens being armed. You got to do these things because if you don't, the crime will just continue to go up and up and up to the point where it's unbearable. So rather than having the private security at the store will close down altogether. And then the neighborhood gets further and further into this spiral of poverty and disaster and death because there's fewer and fewer opportunities for jobs. There's less commerce, a lower tax base. It just kind of spirals onto itself. So you got to do something rather than just letting a particular area deteriorate into absolute nothingness. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.